Hey, so I'm actually shooting a video here for this thing called a Nerdblock, and if you haven't had it, or if you haven't heard of it, it's basically a monthly subscription service that you get this block of stuff that's gaming and nerd related and so forth every month in your mail. And this is actually the March block, I believe, or no, sorry, the February block. And so I'm going to show you what I got in this here. Basically, to start off with, we got a bunch of Transformers stickers. This is it's Transformers and it's Thundercats, and they've got G.I. Joe on here and a whole bunch of other 80s stuff, as you can see there. And then we got a shirt here. Give me a second. Doing this very off-the-cuff style here. A really neat shirt here. You've got basically Metroid and obviously Samus Aran here, and they're, in a, how do I describe this? They're basically like consoles. It's basically like the consoles you can see here and everything else, so that's pretty neat. And going to the next thing here. It's all real nice material shirts too. It's not cheap stuff. It's definitely more than worth the price that you pay every month for this. I'd say it's probably like quadruple the value that you pay every month for this. And they've got these little Avengers Mashem things here that they're like little tiny superhero heads there. And so that's pretty neat. I don't want to take a lot of this stuff out because I want to actually, I like collecting this kind of stuff, so I don't want to ruin its value, so to speak, by taking it out. But of all the rare things, this seems to be pretty much a 80s themed box here, except for the Halo there. But of all things, we've got a E.T. action figure. Of all things, I mean, I didn't know they even made these. And so, yeah, you are going to get really, really obscure stuff like that in there. And I know E.T. is obviously one of the most famous movies of all time, but in terms of action figures, it's not exactly something that is commonly seen. You got to admit that. And then for something more modern, they've got 3 Halo action figures here. And again, this is probably like $15 or something like that nowadays, what the price for this kind of stuff is. This is actually not only an action figure, though. Apparently it's an actual game that you can use these characters for called Action Clicks, which I didn't even know anything about, so you should check that out. And then, of course, we've got Star Trek here, and as a lot of you know, if you haven't seen my Star Trek Online series, you should go watch that, but I'm a really, really big Trek fan. I'm going to admit Captain Archer is not really my favorite. Got to have like Janeway or Picard in there, or even Kirk, but I'm not going to complain again, They've got the whole series here on the back. They've got Cisco and, of course, Khan and Admiral Kirk even. And, of course, they've got Picard. Got to have Picard. I don't know why it's not auto-focusing on this. This phone is not very nice with close-up images. But, and then, of course, they got the Borg Queen and so forth. So they've got the whole group here and everything. And then they've even got a little bio on the back of the characters and so forth. So that's actually pretty neat, too. It tells you, like their whole backstory and so forth, or a very small part of it at least. And then finally, for yet another thing that I did not expect, but I guess they've been coming back in recent years, this is another figurine for a collectible game of the Smurfs. Of, again, all things. Like, my memory of the Smurfs is basically, the old cartoon of it, and then the ColecoVision game. The ColecoVision game, my friend actually had, and I'll never forget, we were probably only, 5 or so years old when we were playing this, 5 or 6 years old. And I'll never forget, he was getting really, really pissed off at the game, and he had the little joystick that came with it, and I remember he, slammed it on the ground while he was grabbing it, and somehow the joystick popped up a little bit and clamped down on his thumb, and oh my god, he was screaming in excruciating pain. And I remember his mom ran in and was like, I think you should go home, I think he needs to take a rest. And I'm like, okay. And so I ran home, my little short fat 6-year-old legs, and I'll never forget that. That's basically my main memory of the Smurfs, is that my friend destroyed his finger for the day, and that he liked to eat apricots. But that's what was all in this Nerdblock. Again, it is a monthly subscription service. You should definitely check it out there at the sites they've got, nerdblock.com and facebook.com and Twitter and Instagram. And there's a link in the info to an affiliate link that you can go and, so forth, subscribe on it and everything else like that. And I'm not sure if it gets you a deal or not, but you should go and check it out. And it's a really, really cheap price for all the stuff you get every month. And it's a really wide variety, as you can see here, of everything that we've got. You know, you got modern stuff with Halo, you've got 80s stuff with the Smurfs and the stickers and so forth, and then, of course, there was the Metroid shirt. And, you're getting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things. So even if these things are only, valued at, $2 or $3 each, you even got your money back. And I know these things aren't $2 or $3 each. This shirt's probably at least worth $10 or $12. This is probably worth at least probably $10 nowadays with the rate that toys go and all that stuff. So you're easily getting your money back, And it's also the surprise too of what you're going to get every month. It may not be a bunch of stuff you like. It may be a bunch of stuff you like. But either way, you're getting a value on it. So again, links in the info. You should check it out. And thanks for watching.